If you guys don't know what kind of flower is this, I think it's called Plumeria. I always want to create this flower, but I also want it to be useful and decorative as well. I'm using this flower as a hairpin, but it's also a pen. That's why this is a back to school tutorial. You'll be surprised how useful a pen can be. It's not only for taking notes, but when you're in a classroom and you couldn't find anything to tie your hair up, this will be your lifesaver. So at the end of this tutorial, I will show you how to pin your hair up by using this simple pin. I hope you got all your supply for this school year. It wouldn't hurt to add one more pen to your supply. And I can guarantee you can buy this pen anywhere. This is the materials we're gonna use to make the flower. Yeah, it's just a regular plastic bag. First, you want to trim off both of the handles and also trim off the bottom. The whole purpose is to open up the plastic bag and remove the labels. I only want to use the part that does not have any marking or labels on it. And of course, if you prefer to have all the markings, go for it. There is no right or wrong way to trim the plastic bag. I just find it easier to work with by using this method. After I fold them together, I use a scissor and cut it into 2 pieces. To keep it nice and organized, I fold it again and cutting it using the scissor and make it into 4 sheets. After the trimming, I'm going to fold it one more time, but this time I'm not going to cut the long length side. Instead, I'm going to cut it into 5 even segments. Go ahead, just unfold them and just set them on the side. The next thing you would need is the 26 gauge floral wire. Cut 5 pieces of wire. How long is really depends on how big you want your petals to be. Here I'm just using a small bottle to measure the size of the flower petals. I wrap the whole entire wire on the bottle and start twisting the ends together. Don't twist it too hard, just barely loose enough that you can remove it from the bottle. You can use any object. This will help each petals to be the perfect size. Once you have 5 of the wires ready, start forming the wire into your liking. I like them to be a little bit like an oval shape, so I start to give them a little pointy edge on the opposite side of the twisting wire. Okay, the next thing you will need is the parchment paper. Remember, parchment paper, not wax paper. Be sure to pick a safe surface to work on, preferably the iron board. Grab 3 sheets of pre-cut plastic bag and line them up accordingly. I find it much faster to make 3 petals at a time. Grab the oval-shaped wire and place them on the plastic like so. Now you can flow down the upper part of the plastic. Be sure you leave enough plastic surrounding the whole entire wire. This is very important. Set your iron at medium-high. You don't want to set the iron too high because the metal wire will get overheated and it will burn the plastic. Of course, be sure to iron both sides so that it will have an even distributed heat. Give it enough time for it to cool down before removing it. This is the fun part. Just grab the Sharpie permanent marker, pick your favorite color, and start coloring. You have to do this really quick. Before the ink completely dry, use your finger and start smudging the edges. This will make the petals look more realistic. I like to color both sides, but if you don't, you can skip this step. After I color the petals, I like to add one more layer of plastic to protect the colors. You can skip this step if you like it just the way how it is. Basically, I'm using the same method, fusing one sheet of plastic. Be sure to go back and forth on the iron for 10 seconds on both sides. Use the same method and make 5 of the petals. Now take a scissor and start trimming the edges. But be very careful not to cut too close to the wire. Pay special attention once you get to the twisting wire. Be sure to trim the other 4s. Once you have them ready, take a small toothpick and start rolling one side of the edge. This is how it should look. Go ahead, use the same method and curl rest of the petals. Once you have them ready, start stacking them along the side of each other. Once you have them all together, just start twisting the wires together. Now you can easily fan them out. Plumeria has that natural pinwheels look, so when you're organizing it, keep that in mind. Now we're done with the flower. It's very easy to attach it to the pen. Just gotta figure out a way to remove one end of the cap. If you're underage, safety is always first. It's better off to ask an adult for help when it comes to using knife. These caps are typically very stubborn to remove. This part is optional. I like to add a small charm to the flower. So you line everything up and poke it through the hole of the cap. And move the cap as close as you can to the base of the flower. To stop the flower from moving, grab one of the wire and start wrapping at the base of the cap. Now your flower is pretty much set and secure. All you need to do right now is to rejoin the pen. If the center pin is too long, all you gotta do is just trim away the excess part. Voila! Now your pen is finished. Can you believe this flower is actually made from plastic bag? It's very environmental friendly, huh? Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to wear it. This technique would do very well with long hair. Gather all your hair to the center lower part and just start twisting it all the way to the tail. Once you get to a certain point, you will see that you can wrap it into a bun. Just keep on wrapping all your hair to the center. Poke a small amount of hair on your bun and then go under to the hair that's on your scalp and back up to the other side of the bun. It's actually very simple to do, but it does require some practice. You don't even need a single hair tie, it will stay on your hair all day. And if you wanted to make it a little bit more dramatic, add another flower. Do you ever feel like you can never find a pen when you need one? Now you can always find a pen in your hair. I hope this pen will add a little bit of color to your school year. Until next week. May you be happy.